Good afternoon once more. My name is Daniel Makoha, lecturer on life skills, KenyaForestryCollegeLifeSkills again. And once more, I still encourage you that we will be continuing with our e-learning or online lessons, both through uploads of notes, assignments, quizzes, cards, and I'll also be reinforcing these uh, materials with uh, video records like this one. Now, this is the lesson that follows the one that we had last week on effective behavior. Now, we're looking at growing up. We all know that every living human being grows up, and we've been growing from the time we were born. We've not remained the same. So we need to understand or know our bodies as we grow up. Uh, Even choose the correct language concerning certain parts of the body when you grow up, like the language of sex. How do you refer to reproductive organs like vagina, penis, conditions like menstruation, sexual intercourse, breasts or growth of breasts? How do you refer to masturbation? How do you refer to testicles? Devices like condoms, semen. I know you have your own colloquial Sheng terminologies for these parts of the body and what we generally call the language of sex. Let us look at the following questions. Let's ask ourselves which are the most acceptable words for public use that refer to certain parts of the body that relate to sex or sexuality. Which words are violent in nature and if used will tend to affect others or affect us when we are growing up. Which words are negative to boys and which words are negative to girls? Which words do people use that are definitely uh, disrespect girls and disrespect boys? And is it fair to label women, for example, as loose and call men as really men if they have uh, many sexual partners or wrong sexual conduct? Those are questions I would like you to meditate or think about because they affect how we adjust or behave as we undergo changes during growth. I would like you in your own time to look at the meaning of growth from a biological perspective uh, and also from a social perspective. In the notes that I uploaded, you will be able to look at the different changes in growth. And you can also Google and check the different stages that a person undergoes as they grow up or as we grow up. In summary, I'll just bring forth the following. We have different experiences in growth for girls and boys. And let's try and look at a comparison of the two. Girls, during puberty, what happens? It takes place between the age of 7 to 13 years, and you'll see growth of breasts. That is puberty for girls. For boys, it takes place between the age of 10 to 15 years, and there will be growth of testicles and the scrotal sac. For girls, there is body growth of what we call pubic hair between the age of 7 to 14 years. For boys, is between 10 and a half and 16 and a half years. For girls, first period between 10 to 16 years. And for boys, there is growth of the penis between the age of 11 to 14 and a half years. For girls, there is the underarm hair, and for between the 2 years after pubic hair, the underarm hair grows 2 years after pubic hair. Then for boys, it changes in voice between the age of 14 to 14 and a half years. Then again, what is very common and sometimes is disturbing is acne or acne, ACNE. For girls during this puberty stage, there is facial and underarm hair for boys between the age of 10 to 15 years, and as seen also growth or is common on boys between the age of 10 to 15 years. As seen is a chronic inflammation skin condition that causes spots and pimples, especially on the face, shoulders, back, neck, chest, and upper arms. It commonly occurs during puberty when the subcutaneous glands activate, but it can occur at any age. It's not dangerous, but can leave skin scars. Can leave skin scars. Let's look at facts and also be able to dispel myths about sex and sexuality. Facts and also dispel myths about sex and sexuality. One, if a girl does not bleed during the first sexual intercourse, then she's not a virgin. Is it true or false? It is false, because the presence of a membrane called hymen is not linked to virginity. The hymen can break in certain kinds of physical activity as well. In some cases, it may not be there at all. There are cases where somebody may not have it. Now, second issue, the female determines the sex of a baby. Again, this is a false. The male semen contains the X and Y chromosome. The X contains only the X chromosome, and XY combination is a boy, and an XX combination is a girl. No medicine or religious ritual can select the sex of a baby. No medicine or religious ritual can select the sex of a baby. Another myth is a girl cannot get pregnant if she has sex only once or twice. Now, this is false. It's a false myth. A girl can get pregnant even from a single act of intercourse, including the first one. Including the first one, she can conceive. Okay, another myth is masturbation makes a boy impotent. Well, this is false. Wet dreams do not make a boy impotent because it happens unconsciously, but self-stimulation may lead to sexual perversion and even impotence. So there are extremes of masturbation where people engage in self-stimulation to the extent that the sexual behavior is perverted. They start having sex with objects, mattresses, and eventually they may not want to have sex with any normal human being, a woman like this. When they mature and they're in marriage, it develops into a problem. Statement number 5, a drop of semen is equal to 60 drops of blood. Hence, the loss of semen weakens the body and should be avoided. Well, this is a false myth. Semen has no relation to blood. Semen is meant to be ejected out of the body. The scrotal sac, once full, in most cases, there's a nerve connection from that scrotal sac to the brain that will elicit a reaction to eject that accumulated fluid out through wet dreams or through normal sexual intercourse in a marriage scenario or situation. So nocturnal emissions or nightfall or wet dreams, as they're called, makes boys sweet? No, false. Also, semen through wet dreams, sexual intercourse is perfectly natural and harmless. It is a normal part of human uh, physiology. It should not be called a weakness. Caution here is that it should not be engaged in as a hobby or a habit because it will lead to perversion, capacity behavior, which will have psychological problems. Now, another myth is if you clean your vagina after intercourse, you cannot get pregnant. This is false. Sperm reaches the uterus very quickly and cannot be removed by cleaning. Another statement or myth is girls who wear Western clothes or short, tight clothes are inviting boys for sex. This is false. Girls' dress is not reason to make assumptions about sexual activity or consent of having sex because people have tended, especially male, to rape women and to abuse them on the grounds that they dressed provocatively. Now, let's look at another myth. Before a girl reaches 18 years, her sexual organs are not fully developed, can easily repair. Of course, this is a fact. Sorry, it's not a myth, it's a fact. The inner lining of the vagina can be torn and she can more easily acquire sexually transmitted infections, or even HIV. Most boys exaggerate their sexual experiences when talking about them. This is true. Studies have shown that boys like to boast about their sexuality. So that is true. Let's look at another myth. If a girl accepts gifts or food from a boy, that means she has agreed to have sex with him. False. Food or gifts have nothing to do with consent to have sex. Another myth, a boy cannot be raped, but a girl can be. False, because boys and men can be forced to have sex by another man or female. Another myth, a girl cannot get pregnant before her first period. This is false. The first period marks the end of the first menstrual cycle. Girls get pregnant during the first cycle. Now, another myth is when girl says no, she actually means yes and she wants to have sex. This is a false stereotype. Both boys and girls have the right to say no, make choices about sex when it's appropriate to have sex. You will not get pregnant if the boy man you are having sex with assures you that you will not get. This is a false myth because if a man releases sperm in the vagina, it cannot control whether it will cause you to become pregnant or not. Now, I'd like us to look at the relationship between gender and sex. Sex refers to the biological differences between male and female, such as the genitalia and the genetic differences. While gender is more difficult to define, but it can refer to the role of male or female in society, known as the gender role, or an individual's concept of themselves or gender identity. So I would like you, on time to look at all types of myths and facts that relate to sexuality. And again, let us be able to share on the Google Classroom. Uh, you can make a comment or ask a question, and I'll be able to respond to it. Otherwise, thank you very much once more, and may God protect you and may God bless you.